Hi, I'm Daniela and this is Jocelyn. Thanks for coming back to our channel.
Today we're going to be telling you our wedding story. To recap our story, we met and fell in love in college.
We graduated college and moved into a little apartment in 2014.
We worked our butts off and rented a tiny little house and got engaged in 2016.
Yeah, and we were going to get married in 2018. That was the plans, but our plans wound up getting pushed back further and further due to so many things, financial constraints and a lot going on. We overcame a lot of obstacles in order to get married on March 6th. 2020, and I'm sure you can guess by the date that didn't come without a bunch of its own obstacles. Because we had to change our original venue at the last minute, and all of our vendors were booked through that venue, so we had to find a whole new wedding in less than a month and with a quarter of our budget because we weren't getting our money back. Luckily, we were reached out to by some really generous vendors in our area and were extended so much generosity.
We really appreciate and thanks all the vendors who reached out to us, who heard our cries for help, and who spread the word to try to get their word to us. It was really touching to see the lengths that some people went through to say, hey, we're here if you need help. It was really awesome. And it did not go unnoticed. It was amazing.
So we ended up finding a whole new venue, a photographer, a caterer, someone to make us cakes, someone to make flower arrangements, and
someone to be the day of event coordinator to make sure everything went smoothly so we didn't have to worry about it. It actually felt like a blessing in disguise because I think it went smoother and better than we probably could have expected it.
Other than my dad accidentally stepping on my veil and ripping it off my head while I walked down the aisle, I think everything went as smooth as it possibly could. Straight after our reception, we were whisked away and driven to a cruise ship where we went on a cruise with 19 of our family and friends. And it was truly magical.
It was awesome, although it made the wedding feel so short. I wish I took some of that cake for the ride. It was awesome.
I still dream about that cake. So then we set sail. And when we left the cruise terminal out of New York City on March 6, 2020, we left a pretty normal world behind us. That was kind of before I think we were really knew what was going on with the pandemic. So we went on this cruise. We were with our family and friends. It was actually all pretty surreal.
It really was an amazing time though. We even won the newlywed game.
Yeah, the second night on the ship, we were on the newlywed game, which they recorded and broadcasted throughout the ship on people's TV the entire trip. So everyone was kind of like, oh my God, you're the brides, you won the game, we love you, which was so cute.
But then midway through our honeymoon trip, news came that COVID was starting to get worse, and we actually wound up coming home back and docking the day that New York City shut down.
So we didn't have Wi-Fi on the ship and we really weren't watching TV much, but then once we turned on the news, we were like, oh my God, what's going on? When we pulled back into New York, we realized this was the day that America started the shutdown, which was definitely really scary.
Yeah, we were on the party bus home getting calls from work like, okay, you're not coming in now, work's shutting down and schools are shutting down, and it was just crazy. My brother, who's in the military, then wound up staying at our house for a quarantine for a little while until he got more orders on where he was supposed to report. It was like really frightening for a moment, I would say, especially going to New York City where there's so many people and you don't know what to expect.
And we were on a ship with a bunch of people. We were all kind of really scared at this point. Luckily, my mom saw that everywhere ran out of toilet paper and food, so she wasn't on the ship with us. She came and stocked our whole house while we were on the honeymoon, so when we came home we had groceries, toilet paper, the essentials.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, thank God for that. So You know, we returned as newlyweds in the middle of a pandemic, which was kind of frightening. We were quarantined in our house, trapped with an 11-year-old and Jocelyn's brother. So you can see how being newlyweds, that would be a little difficult. But, you know, we made it through and we actually loved having them in the house because
Yeah.
otherwise we would have probably been really bored. So our plans were to always I would always joke with my friends, like, I'm getting pregnant while I'm on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
I'm getting pregnant the day I walk off the cruise ship. But being that COVID was starting and I was a little under the weather, we had to wait a little while before we could conceive. So that kind of changed our plans. But now in the present day, we're picking back up with that, and we have a lot of information to share with you about at-home insemination, finding a sperm donor, tracking your ovulation,
The trials and tribulations.
of same-sex conception,
Yes.
parenting, marriage, all throughout a pandemic and life and normal life and
Whatever that means.
so we hope you find that helpful. If you're interested in that type of content, please like and subscribe and tune into our next video. Thanks.